Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. What a gorgeous night. Today's topic is going to be how you describe your experience, meaning your symptoms, matters. So I'll let you ponder that for a second. I'm going to enjoy this gorgeous weather, t-shirt weather. It's almost 7 o'clock at night. The birds are singing. Gotta love it. The birds are happy. So, how you describe your experience matters. And when I say it matters, it will actually determine the speed at which you get better. And in some cases, it may prevent you getting better. So let's go back to square one. If you've been following me, you know that the perception of danger is what is creating the pain and the symptoms, which basically means, what is the brain believing? What is the brain responding to? If there's a lot of danger, it's going to turn on symptoms to warn us, right? So that's the premise that all of my work is based on, is that the brain is creating the symptoms based on the perception of danger. And in the case of chronic pain, chronic symptoms, it's almost always a false alarm based on misinformation and fear. But the brain, the mind, is creating the symptoms because the brain's doing its job. The brain's job is to warn you, protect you from something it thinks is going on that's bad. And so, do you think that by describing your experience in matter of fact, I know what it is, I'm not concerned about it, and then shifting your attention away, do you think that's going to go better than describing it as if it was, a paragraph out of a horror movie script, right? And the reason I say this is because all the time I'm seeing comments on YouTube and Facebook, and even in the coaching group, I have people begin sharing their experience in very colorful language. And from the standpoint of not wanting to trigger people here watching, let's just say it would scare anybody to hear symptoms described that way. And here's the point. By you describing your own experience in that colorful, extreme use of language that comes straight out of a script from a horror movie, you're terrifying your own self. Because if you're using words like that, you're scaring yourself silly. And the brain goes, got it. Right? I'll use a couple quick words. Burning, stabbing, tearing, fire, needles, right? And I'm going to stop there because I don't really want to scare you. I just wanted to give you a touch of the language. And so, literally, if you are describing your own experience and your own symptoms in that way, you're continuing the brain's perception of danger because you are describing it in such a way that would scare anybody. And most importantly, you're scaring yourself. So what do? We change the language. We got to go back to foundation. What's causing the symptoms? Oh, the brain perceiving danger. Can that create wild symptoms? Absolutely. Very intense. I get it. But the cool part is, almost always, the brain's protection mechanism can create symptoms so wild that it's almost impossible for the body to create symptoms that intense, that varied, that in different parts of the body. And look, maybe you've just got one bad symptom in one part of your body, and it's really intense. For the people who say, but my pain never moves around, so maybe it's not TMS. Well, maybe it's not, but have you done the assessments? Have you ruled it in? Is this PDP.com? Rule it in. If it says it's TMS, that's what it is. So, clarity. Yesterday's video was all about getting clarity. It really was. Watch it if you didn't see it. But really, you got to make the job easier by understanding what causes symptoms and determining with the assessments that that's what's going on with you, and most importantly, deciding to accept the results of the assessments. Because as long as you're saying, no, but I can't believe it. I won't believe it because I hurt too much. There's no way my brain is doing that. Yes, it is. There's no way that your body has a flaw in it so drastic that it would create symptoms that intense. It's just the way it works. Sometimes the more intense it is, the more we can realize it's the brain's false alarm. And if you are fueling that false alarm with these horror movie-laden terms straight out of the script, you're fueling the fire. You are terrifying yourself more and more and more. And the more you freak out, the more you describe your own experience in those ways, the more you're going to stay afraid consciously, the more your brain will register that subconsciously, and the longer it's going to take for you to get better. So it's super important to make a conscious, committed decision to say, I'm not going to fuel this anymore. I'm not doing myself any favors by describing it in those ways. Further, we don't want to talk about our symptoms anyway. Why? Because the more we talk about them, the more they stick around. Put them on the last priority of your thinking and emotion feeling list. They're not important. And when we prove to the brain that we're okay and show the brain that we're okay by giving little to no concern to the symptoms, by knowing what they are, calling them out for what they are, remembering that, yes, this applies to me and that I can get well and that I'm moving in the right direction. And I do this consistently, even if things get colorful one day or, you were doing a little better, then it got worse. That's not proof that you're in the wrong place. It's proof that you are. Because only the brain could do that, because your body didn't change from yesterday to today. You didn't do too much. You didn't hurt yourself. Injuries are experienced in the instant they happen, and they gradually get better from there. And I have countless stories of people saying, oh yeah, I did this, I felt a pull at the gym, and I was reasonably okay for a week, but then it really got bad. Well, so did the fear, so did the worry, so did the thinking I must have injured myself. That's just one example of dozens and hundreds that I've heard. So you're in the right place. Do yourself a favor, right? Stop describing your symptoms in a way that would scare your 6-year-old. Because if it's scary to somebody else, you can bet that you're scaring yourself. You are continuing the perception of danger, and that will continue the symptoms. And if you want the symptoms to go away, come on, folks, stop scaring the crap out of yourself. It doesn't help. I never saw anybody freak out so much that their symptoms went away. But I've seen the opposite countless times, where people freak out so much that their symptoms go through the roof. It gets worse and worse the more they freak out. You got to reverse that cycle. You want to get out of this pattern. It starts with you. It starts with your calm reassurance, acceptance that you're actually okay. So I hope this makes sense to you. The way you describe your symptoms, the way you describe your experience, frankly, the way you describe your life matters. Are you reminding yourself of everything that's wrong? Are you reminding yourself that you're in the right place and you're on your way and you're going to get well? The choice is yours. I can't make you do it. I can't do it for you. But I'm just trying to encourage you here every day to kind of pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and say, I'm going through tough times, but I can do this. So, I'm going to wrap this one up. Love you all. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.